Principle 1. People don't change. There's a difference between transformation and change. By definition, change usually requires some external influence that then creates a modification in behavior. Transformation modifies beliefs, so actions become natural, and then contextually, you can create different results. The Disney movie Lilo and Stitch is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So Stitch was an angry alien who found himself on Earth. And when he first arrived and had an opportunity to look around, he realized that he didn't fit in. So how many times have you felt like that? When you look around on Earth, you sometimes feel like you don't fit in. He also knew that if he didn't fit in, is that he might be in trouble. He could be threatened. And so what he decided was to explore his surroundings. How many times have you done that as well? When he found out that dogs somewhat resembled how he looked, other than his other extra 2 legs, is that he decided if he pulled his middle legs in and he got himself down on all fours, he kind of looked like a dog. So he made the decision, started to move through in an effort to discover more about this planet and more about how he could find his way home when he met Lilo. Lilo was a sweet, loving little girl who, despite his oddness, decided that she would love him anyway. So they began this journey together, as most of us do in life and in relationship. And for the most part, things went really well until whenever Stitch would get angry, he would burst out those legs and make himself vulnerable in that moment. The challenge then for Lilo was, in an effort to try and understand who this creature is that she has now invited into her life. And so finally, Stitch made the decision to be honest and to also explain some of why he got kicked off his planet. And then, much to his surprise, Lilo decided that she would love him anyway. So how does that relate to people don't change? So there's one thing for sure that Stitch knew, is that he couldn't change who he was in terms of his physical body, and what he could change and begin to transform was how he managed his anger. And so through the love of Lilo, through the acceptance of all of who he was, he discovered that even though he couldn't stop getting angry, is what he could begin to transform, is how much anger he would hold and his ability to then be able to hold those extra arms in. So people don't change. We can, however, transform into a grander, greater version of ourselves. Principle 1, people don't change, we transform.